Anytime somebody gives me something for songwriting, like Songwriting Hall of Fame, Poets Awards, Writers Awards, that's what I was, first and foremost, was.
Hi, everyone. For decades, Toby Keith stood larger than life in American music. Before the awards, the sold-out arenas, and the roaring crowds, he was a songwriter chasing honesty, not fame. His words spoke boldly, saying what others wouldn't, and fans connected because he sounded real. As his career exploded, his songs filled radios, trucks, and backyards across America. But behind the confidence and celebration, quiet storms were forming. And after his death, curiosity turned into discovery. When they finally searched Toby Keith's garage, they expected storage. What they found, instead, revealed a side of him no one saw coming. Stay with this story, because what was uncovered changes how his legacy is remembered forever. One of the first major storms came from a feud that would shake the country music world. At the height of his popularity, Toby Keith found himself in a public clash with the Dixie Chicks, led by Natalie Maines. It began as a disagreement over a song, nothing unusual in the music industry. Artists criticize each other all the time. But this disagreement didn't fade. It grew louder. Emotions intensified, and before anyone realized it, a simple difference of opinion turned into one of the most talked-about feuds country music had ever seen. For Toby Keith, the conflict cut deeper than critics realized. The song at the center of the argument was written during a painful moment in American history, a time when fear and uncertainty hung in the air. To him, the song was about resilience, about standing tall when everything felt unstable. So when it was described as angry or harmful, it felt like his intentions had been twisted. He didn't see it as politics. He saw it as heart. Fans quickly chose sides. Concert crowds argued. Radio stations debated. Television shows dissected every word. The feud stopped being about music and became something far more emotional. Pride replaced understanding. Voices grew louder instead of calmer. And while neither side walked away unscarred, Toby Keith refused to disappear. He kept performing. He kept writing. He kept showing up for the fans who believed in him. As the feud slowly faded from headlines, Toby Keith hoped for peace, but instead, his music became the center of an even larger national conversation. One song in particular, written to comfort a hurting nation, became a lightning rod. For millions, it was empowering. Families played it during hard times. Soldiers found strength in it. Listeners felt seen and understood. But others heard something different. Some said it was too aggressive. Others felt it crossed lines. Once again, Toby Keith found himself standing in the middle of a storm he never intended to create. Suddenly, he wasn't just a singer, he was a symbol. Media personalities debated what he represented. Writers analyzed his lyrics line by line. People who didn't even listen to country music knew his name. The pressure was immense. Imagine being told what you stand for when all you did was write from the heart. That weight followed him everywhere. Yet through it all, Toby Keith never hardened. He smiled, he shook hands, he continued to believe in the power of music to help people through difficult days. While the world argued about his songs, trouble quietly began growing elsewhere in his business ventures. Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill was meant to be joyful. It was designed as a place where families could eat, friends could laugh, and music could play softly in the background. At first, the concept thrived. Locations opened across multiple states. Crowds filled the rooms. His name brought people together. But behind the scenes, cracks began to form. Small complaints turned into larger disputes. Business partners disagreed. Landlords raised concerns. Then, without warning, locations started shutting down. Doors were locked. Lights went out. Employees arrived to find their workplaces closed. Customers were confused. Headlines followed. And once again, Toby Keith's name was everywhere. Even though he wasn't directly involved in every operational decision, the public didn't care about the details. His name was on the sign, so the blame landed on him. And that hurt. He cared deeply about the people affected. He wanted the dream to succeed. But instead of lashing out or blaming others, Toby Keith carried the burden quietly. He handled it with restraint, understanding that sometimes the truth gets buried beneath noise.
Just as business troubles grew, life delivered a deeper blow. Toby Keith's health began to change. Fatigue, discomfort, signs he couldn't ignore. Still, he kept performing, smiling for fans, refusing to let fear take center stage. Rumors spread as shows were quietly canceled, but Toby Keith remained private. When doctors confirmed a serious illness, he faced it with dignity, leaning on family, trusted friends, and the quiet strength of music that never left his heart. He never asked for sympathy. He never sought attention for his struggle. Instead, Toby Keith chose courage over fear, grace over anger, and perseverance over despair. Every day became an act of quiet bravery, a reminder that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's found in simply showing up, holding on, and continuing forward, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. At the same time, new storms gathered around Toby Keith's reputation. Legal disputes surfaced, contract disagreements became public, business conflicts spilled into headlines that told only fragments of the truth. Once again, his name appeared in places he never wanted it to be, framed by controversy rather than context. Yet, through it all, Toby Keith remained steady. He listened more than he spoke. He answered criticism with patience. He refused to let resentment, anger, or bitterness rewrite who he was at his core. Those closest to him noticed a quiet shift during that time. As the noise outside grew louder, Toby Keith's private world became calmer and more reflective. He poured himself into writing late at night, into helping others without recognition, and into preserving moments that mattered only to him. He didn't chase public sympathy or demand explanations. Toby Keith believed that real truth didn't always need a microphone or an audience. After his passing, that quiet life revealed itself in a way no one expected. The discovery stunned everyone. It wasn't found in a studio, a mansion, or a locked vault. It was found in his garage. What appeared ordinary from the outside held pieces of a life rarely seen, a place where memories, generosity, and creativity lived side by side. The garage became a silent witness to who Toby Keith truly was when the spotlight faded, preserving the depth, humility, and humanity he carried until the very end. To outsiders, it looked ordinary, just another storage space. But inside, it told an entirely different story. Letters from fans he never forgot, carefully saved. Awards he never displayed, wrapped and tucked away. Handwritten lyrics that were never recorded, never pitched, never shared. Personal journals filled with thoughts he never allowed the public to see. There were envelopes filled with quiet generosity, donations to struggling families, scholarships arranged without publicity, gifts prepared for people he had helped behind the scenes. There were reminders of his humor, scribbled notes that made only him laugh, sentimental keepsakes from long tours, small objects tied to big memories from a life lived fully. The garage wasn't clutter, it was a confession, a private archive revealing who Toby Keith truly was when the cameras were gone. Not just bold, not just loud, but thoughtful, kind, and deeply, unmistakably human. In that quiet space, the world finally saw the full picture. A man who faced storms without backing down, who carried criticism without becoming cold, who gave without asking for praise, who loved music, people, and life with everything he had. What was found in that garage wasn't just memorabilia, it was legacy, the heart of a songwriter, the soul of a fighter, the truth behind the voice. And in the end, Toby Keith wasn't defined by feuds or headlines, but by resilience, generosity, and songs that made millions feel understood. If his story moved you, like, share, and remember the man behind the music. Thanks for watching.